to talk about product owner. And in some ways, I hesitate to call this as a key role, as everybody is important on the team. But when we look at the direction of the team and where we're going, it is a critical part of that. So the product owner is going to decide on what's going to be built and in what order. Now, some of that will still be negotiated with the team because there might be some technical dependencies and stuff like that. Everybody has a voice, but you can think of the conductor is going to be the product owner for that kind of stuff. Defines the features of each story. Hey, how are we going to get some business value out of that? And really, the focus is on achieving some sort of business value, business outcome with that. They're going to choose the release date and content. Of course, they can't do that on their own without input from the team, but they're going to be deciding, hey, how much of this is going to be my minimum viable product? What can I go through and release out? Because they're going to have an idea of a bunch of other things. And in some ways, that opens the door to I kind of like to think of the product owner as a cat herder, where there's all sorts of different stakeholders. So you might have the legal department, marketing department, sales, training, all sorts of things that need to be coordinated. And the product owner usually owns that part of the job. So it's a pretty significant job. When you look at defining that business value, that's going to be part of mapping. The business value is going to be mapping that back to, hey, what was the business case put together for that? So typically the product owner will have a hand in that. Hey, how did they justify the project? Where did they get their budget from? So that's all in some ways part of that cat herding job. Pretty significant effort there. They're also going to make the adjustments as required. A lot of times as we go through and execute on a software development project, they're going to start getting some feedback to say, you know what, we did ask you guys to build this, but now that we see it, we need to make some sort of adjustments to actually maximize the business value. So that's going to imply some sort of change. In order for them to live within their budgets and timeframes, they might have to actually take some stuff off the backlog in order to get those changes in. So again, a pretty significant role there. They're also going to accept or reject the work from the team to say, did it meet the intent of the request? Did it meet how the feature was defined? Hopefully there's not going to be any surprises there, because the product owner is collaborating daily with these folks. For example, I've worked with several teams where the product owner was a regional business manager. So they had very significant business responsibilities. The software application had a significant impact on those responsibilities. So they really cared about the outcome. So that kind of level of engagement and commitment is really important to have this successful. So they're going to facilitate the planning meetings with the iteration manager, as they have a lot of power in terms of how do we coordinate, what's the direction, how do I paint the vision of the future. That's going to be a key part of that. And that's about it for product owner.